Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Thursday for T-Town Bound. My name is Octavio, and I am an admissions advisor for the University of Washington, Tacoma. This is a day for students that have been admitted. We would like to congratulate all of you for all of your hard work. If you have any questions, you can text them into 208-918-0351. With that, we have a message from the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, Mentha Hines Wilson.
Hello, and welcome to our virtual Admitted Student Day program. Our amazing team of students, faculty, and staff have come together to provide you with a glimpse of the UW student experience. Joining our community means so much more than picking up a new purple t-shirt or sweatshirt. At UW Tacoma, we are united in our belief that there are no limits to our students' potential for success. No matter what you need or what you're going through, there are people and programs to help. We are a community that learns together, supports each other, demonstrates care for our neighbors, and celebrates together. And now, you have been invited to be a part of our Boundless community. Today, you will get a small taste of the passion and dedication that we experience on a daily basis. Please ask your questions and know that we're here to support you during the decision-making process. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations on your admission, and I look forward to seeing you on campus in the fall. Go Dogs.
Thank you, Mentha. Amazing as always. Today, you will have an opportunity to learn more about the University of Washington, Tacoma. As for what today will look like, you will have a virtual tour with our wonderful ambassadors as your guides. After that, there will be a next steps presentation, which will lead into a tour of Court 17 from the Office of Housing and Residence Life. From there, we will have presentations from financial aid and academic advising. Lastly, we will have a Q&A. But before we move forward, our great student ambassador, Naga, has a message for all of you.
Hey guys, I hope everybody's at home, safe, and fit. I know I've been playing Just Dance recently, so I'm getting my exercise. So, you'll see the gains after this is all is over. But the reason why I'm speaking to you guys today is because I'm graduating this spring. See, I've been at UW Tacoma for the last 4 years, and I'm a transfer student. I transferred here the spring quarter of my freshman year. And when I came here, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So when my academic advisor sat me down, she was like, hey, what do you want to do? What major do you want to get into? I'm like, computer science. And the reason why I said that was because my parents told me to do it. So I took a couple of the classes and, I wasn't really feeling it. And a couple of weeks into the quarter, I get a call from one of my friends and they're like, hey, Naga, what are you doing this Friday? I'm like, nothing. And they're like, hey, come join this business competition. I know you know nothing about business, but there's a $500 grand prize. I'm like, $500? That's a new Nintendo Switch. Sign me up. And so I did the competition. It was from Friday morning to Monday morning. We sent in our beautiful business plan after 72 hours. And that coming Friday, we were going to present in front of judges from all over the state. And then on Tuesday, I get an email from the competition saying, hey, so there's going to be 2 rounds this year. There's going to be a preliminary round and there's going to be a finals round. And in the preliminary round, you're going to be facing the back-to-back champions. And I'm like, why do you got to put that in an email, right? And so I went to my team and I'm like, hey, you guys all got that email? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, so we're going to go in there and we're going to have fun by winning. And so for the next couple of days, we grinded everything out. We stayed up late nights, we presented, we performed. And then the day of the competition came and it was all worth it because we ended up beating the back-to-back champions, but we got second place. So that meant no Nintendo Switch. And that meant depression. Just kidding. The next day, I went to the academic advisor and I was like, hey, how do I get into business? And then I called up my family and I just had a really tough talk with them. But why it's so important is that whether you know what major you want to get into or whether you don't, it's okay. I changed my majors a couple times and it's okay for you to do that as well. College is all about trying everything you can and finding the thing that works best for you. So I hope when this fall or whenever you guys come to UW Tacoma, I hope you guys choose the major and just that works best for you. And honestly, if things get overwhelming, know when to take a break, because it's better to take a break than to give up. So thank you guys so much. And with that, since you guys know a little bit about my story, we're going to go ahead and start the virtual tour by introducing our next campus ambassador, which is going to be Katrine.
Hi, everyone. My name's Katrine. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a transfer student from Tacoma Community College. I'm finishing up my last 2 years here at the University of Washington, Tacoma, currently on my spring graduating quarter before graduation. I'm majoring in business management and also minoring in sociology. And then we'll hand that over to Matthew.
Great. Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew. I am a junior in the information technology program with my minor in technical communication. I've spent my entire college career here at UW-T, so if you guys do have questions about going from starting as a freshman until now, I can definitely help answer those questions. Next slide, please.
And so, yeah, these are our other campus ambassadors with us.
Okay, moving on though to the city is your campus. So UW-T is located in the heart of downtown. It's an urban serving campus that caters to Tacoma and south of the Puget Sound. We're dedicated to serve our local communities through education, as well as developing and improving the communities that have lived here for generations. So downtown Tacoma really is central to museums, parks, restaurants, anything you can really think of is walking or driving distance to downtown. So next slide, please.
So one of my favorite things about UW Tacoma being in the middle of downtown Tacoma is that we have tons of different things to do. We have different museums. We have the Tacoma Dome just down the street. We have Point Defiance, which is like a zoo/aquarium location up by the Tacoma area. As well as on Tuesdays, we have, $5 movie nights. So me and my friends from Court 17, we usually get in a car and we go to the Point Ruston, where there's a big movie theater/shopping complex. And another thing is that UW Tacoma has classes offered in different parts of the community. So for example, Cheney Stadium, we have sports marketing classes. So you get to work with the executives from Cheney Stadium. And we also have glass blowing classes in the Glass Museum. So if you're really looking for a campus that's integrated in with the downtown Tacoma and just like a city location, Tacoma is such a great location for you. So if we go to the next slide, we're going to see a campus map. And so on the bottom, that's where WCG, Joy Building, that's where typically all of our classes are held. And so we're going to talk more about these buildings on our tours, but everything in green is where UW Tacoma owns the property. So we're going to be building new buildings such as new freshman housing, as well as a new computer science/business building. So this entire campus is going to be changing in the next couple of years, and it's going to be really exciting to see. So if we go to the next slide.
Okay, so we're starting off with the Mattress Factory. This is your building for all of our offices and free resources, some free resources for students on campus. So our Office of Admissions, turning in transcripts. If you have any questions about applying, our Career Development Office, so Office of Student Transitions and Success. If you're interested in getting a job on campus, interview prep, mock interviews, counseling services, also free for students, financial aid, so turning in your financial aid award letters, disability resources. We also have an office for Center for Student Leadership, as well as an office for first generation college students. And then on top of that, we also have our doghouse located in the Mattress Factory. So the doghouse is just sort of a place to unwind. We have pool, ping pong, foosball tables, TVs for you to rent, PS4s, Xboxes, Nintendo Switches. There's also microwaves, couches, places to eat, places to buy food. It's just a cool little place to unwind when you're not in classes. So moving on to our next slide, to Cherry Parks.
Yeah, so as we move on through our tour, we come to our Cherry Parks building. Located in here, we have our School of Engineering and Technology and our Schooling of Nursing and Healthcare Leadership. So for our students who are looking to do anything technology-wise, we do offer computer science, electrical engineering, information technology, and computer engineering. We do offer 2 master's programs, one in computer science and cybersecurity and leadership. If you do get accepted into any of these programs, you will have 24-hour access to the computer labs in the building, and they just added a new one that has routers and switches for students to get a very hands-on experience. For students who are looking to do nursing at all, we are an RN to BSN program. So that means you'll be going to, say, like a community college and getting your RN, and then you'll come to us and we'll get you through our bachelor's program. Next slide, please. All right, and this is kind of what the inside of Terry Park looks like a little bit. These are some study rooms that students can, rent for like an hour and then get projects and different work done as they need it. Next slide, please. All right, and we move on to our Garrison Woodruff and Pratt building, which is GWP. The main offices that I always like to talk about here are academic advising. So as a freshman student coming in, you will get a hold on your account through its autumn, spring, and winter. And in these periods, you'll just go to your academic advisor. They'll be able to walk you through any kind of help you need, deciding classes, deciding how to get into whatever major you're looking for. It's a great resource. I've used it a lot. I'm sure Naga and Katrina have also used it a lot, and I definitely recommend using it because they are very helpful people. For students who are looking to do study abroad, we have our Global Affairs office located in there as well. So a cool program we have is we actually connect with UW Seattle and UW Bothell. So if, say, we took a trip to Japan, but UW Seattle takes a trip to Spain, maybe you don't want to go to Japan with us, and that's completely fine. You can actually sign up for UW Seattle's Spain trip, do the whole study abroad program, and earn the credits. So definitely using those resources is a great idea. Next slide, please.
Yeah, so in the West Coast Grocery, we have our School of Education, School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, School of Social Work, as well as Criminal Justice. And so all of these departments are going to be on the top floors of West Coast Grocery. So if you ever have any advising questions, or if you ever have like any prerequisite questions, definitely talk to these different programs and they'll help you out. As well as we have the Center for Equity and Inclusion. So this is a great location for students to just talk and have a safe environment for you to just meet different people from different cultures as well as different backgrounds. And I particularly love this location because sometimes they have club meetings there where they bring in pizza. And so it's a great time overall. It's like a little pizza party in there. And if we go to the next slide, we have our West Coast Grocery Store. So if you're ever hungry in the middle of class, you can get up and get something quick to eat. Or if you have, like, if you hurt yourself in the middle of campus, right, you kind of scratch yourself, there's Band-Aids and there's other kind of hygienic products that you can buy. And so I typically get like a sandwich here when I'm hungry, and there's tons of different options for you. And so if we go to the next slide, we're going to go to the Tacoma Paper and Stationery. This is one of our newer buildings. This was opened in 2018. And believe it or not, it still has a new building smell. This used to be the old spaghetti factory, and the old spaghetti factory moved down to on Pack Ave now. And now it has come, it's been a home to our new electrical engineering programs, as well as a couple of our medical science labs are on the top floors. So definitely if you go to the next slide, you can see what the inside of this building looks like. A lot of the furniture is more modern, and those windows that you see, they open up in the springtime, and we usually create a big networking event for all the students and faculty and business leaders to come and meet the students, and just kind of like there's cupcakes and food all around. So it's a nice, lively area in the springtime, as well as great study locations all around Tacoma Paper Stationery. You'll see that our campus has tons of different hidden spots. And so you're always going to find something exciting. So yeah, if we go to the next slide.
Great. So we're going to be talking about the Pinkerton building. So a fun fact about the Pinkerton building is that it's the oldest building out of all 3 UW campuses. So this building is exclusively houses our School of Urban Studies. So if you're interested in pursuing a degree in global urbanism, community development and planning, or geographic information systems, or GIS for short, then this Pinkerton building may be an important building to you. It also houses offices for urban study academic advisors as well. So once you get admitted into your major, definitely contact these academic advisors exclusively for this school. I'm going to move on to the next slide.
Yeah, so the Dugan building is awesome because it's home to the Milgard School of Business. Milgard School of Business offers marketing, business administration, finance, as well as accounting. They also have a data analytics program, and one of my favorites is that they have the CSR minor, which is the corporate social responsibility. We're one of the only universities in the countries that do offer this minor, so definitely take advantage of it. That competition that I was talking to you about earlier, it's all around CSR. So schools from all over the world come to compete here in the Tacoma area, and the Milgard School of Business is the hub for that. So definitely check it out. And if we go back one slide back, yeah, Katrine's gonna add more to this.
Right. So the campus safety and security is also housed in this building as well. So if you ever need access to buildings, if you need a classroom open, if you need an escort to your car once campus opens back up, definitely contact campus safety and security. They can escort you to your car. They can drive you back to your car. They're really friendly and they're super helpful on campus. As well as we have this thing called the pantry, which is a free resource for students. So let's say like you forget your snacks at home, your lunch, or you're running low on funds and you can't really afford anything to eat. So the pantry is a free resource for students that exclusively gives you 10 free food items a week. So they have things from like chips, fresh fruit, frozen foods as well. So this is definitely helpful to any of our Court 17 residents who want to cook inside their dorms. But also the pantry houses hygiene items as well. So if you are running low on shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, toothbrushes, things like that, those are also free items that the pantry gives out as well. Moving on to the next slide though.
All right, and as we move on, we come to our two library systems. We have our Snoqualmie Library and our Tioga Library. I'll talk about the Snoqualmie, which is pictured right in front of you on this slide. So one of our great resources we have in that library is our TLC, which is our Teaching and Learning Center. This is free tutoring for our students on any subject we teach here on campus. So if you need help with math, reading, you name it, and they can help you with it. Something cool they do for our students is they're also online helping people figure papers out and kind of help them with anything they need. I always recommend just let them know what part of their paper, what part of your paper you need help with, because they are running through a lot of people and they want to give you as much help as possible. Next slide, please. And this building right here is our Tioga Library. So this library is more like a public or a high school library where you can sit down, you can check out books, you can use the computers. Something cool we do with the UW Seattle and UW Bothell campus is if for some reason we don't have a book here, we can get it from one of those campuses and it'll be brought to our Tioga Library for you to pick up. Also in this building, we have our Veterans and Military Resource Center, and I'm going to pass it over to Naga so he can explain a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so our camp, if you go back one slide, our campus is incredibly veteran friendly. We have tons of veterans on our campus, and we have a location for them to also go into entrepreneurship if they want to. It's called the Vibe. So if you as a student are looking into wanting to create a startup, or you have a next $1 million idea, you can go ahead and join this competition that the Vibe offers, where you can win $25,000 in initial startup funding. And we've had companies that started from our Vibe program and gone on to like $500,000 of revenue. So definitely, if you have some sort of entrepreneurship passion in you, check it out and try as many things as you can. Our campus is about 5,000 students, and so it's a fairly small campus, and so there's tons of opportunities for everyone who comes to our campus. And so if we go to the next slide, we're going to be going to Court 17, which is our on-campus housing. So me and Matthew have been living here for the last 4 years, and it's been awesome because I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom option. This isn't like your typical college bedroom, right? Where you get 2 beds and then you have a little window where you guys can just stare out it from. No, this is pretty much like apartment style. So you get a fully furnished kitchen, you have all the amenities, you have a washer dryer in your room. So it's kind of luxury pretty much if you're a college student, right? And it's one of my favorite things because in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom option, you're going to room with 3 other people. So a total of 4 people in the room. And I always love that because when I get done, studying at the library and I come home, I always have like some people in the lobby area of the living room. And it's always fun because we usually play, Super Smash Bros. We have movie nights, or we have like friends over and we have like a really fun time. So that's kind of like, I've had some very great roommates the past 4 years. And so, yeah, no horror stories from me, but Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any horror stories either. If you could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So something good to know that for people coming in, maybe their freshman year, ways we pick roommates, or they'll pick roommates for you, is they like to give you like a little quiz in the beginning to kind of get your likes and dislikes, and they try to match you as best they can with people of that same interest. So like me and Naga might like movies together, so they'll try to match us with that in mind. So you could, and then your next year, as you keep staying at Court 17, you can always move on with the same roommates. Like I might stay with Naga, or if I'm just want to expand my network of people and meet more people, you can always start fresh with new roommates. Students always wonder as well, as a freshman student, do I have to stay at Court 17 my first, freshman year? No, you do not. If you do, great. We'd love to have you. But if you choose not to, that's fine. Katrine is a commuter student, for example, so we have a lot of commuter students. And later on, there will be a virtual tour of kind of Core 17, so stay tuned for that. Next slide, please.
Great. So located right across the street from Court 17 is our University Y. So this Y serves as a gym for students, spaces to study, print, hang out, more opportunities for students to get involved on campus, which we'll talk about in a bit. So included in your UW tuition is actually a membership, not just for this YMCA, but for all YMCAs in Washington State. So if you're a commuter student like I am, and there's a YMCA closer to where you live, then you have full access to that YMCA. But in this YMCA, we have like a rock climbing wall, indoor basketball court, weight training equipment, cardio machines. This YMCA does not have a pool, but the YMCA 2 blocks away does have one. And like I said, you do have access to any YMCA, even the one 2 blocks down. So if we go on to the next slide for Naga to talk more about how you can get involved at the UWI.
Yes, so we have a Center for Student Involvement. That's home to all of our big clubs that we have on our campus, as well as our Student Activities Board and our Student Government. So if you're thinking about wanting to create big events to engage our student body, definitely get involved with Student Activity Board, where they basically plan all the biggest events. For example, in the fall quarter, we have this thing called Lights Out, where we shut down this entire University Y and we set up glow lights all across the gym. And we have like laser tag on the 3rd floor. We have nighttime Zumba classes, which are awesome. And we have a big pink volleyball setup right here in the court area. Or if you want to join like any club, for example, I joined a PZU my junior year, and we had a big luau right here. We set up tables all along the gym area, and me and the other hula guys, we basically learned Asian Pacific Islander dances. And I learned how to do the haka. So we took off our shirt, oiled ourselves up, and did the haka in front of like hundreds of people, and that was like a really fun time. So yeah, definitely, there's a ton of different diverse clubs that you can join here on our campus. And if you want to serve the local community, or just kind of be a part of the student government, make sure that our students' voices are heard. I was elected to Director of Legislative Affairs my junior year as well. And that's an amazing experience to talk to local government as well as the federal government to get funding for our students here on our campus. And you can do a lot of amazing programs and a lot of amazing good by getting into our student government. So many connections to make, and you'll be working with a lot of UW Seattle students as well as Bothell students. Our campus is really integrated with all the other students in different campuses as well. So if you are a UW Tacoma student, you are a Husky overall. So you get the same amount of perks as Seattle, same amount of perks as Bothell. So just like Matthew was saying with study abroad, if you want to do something up in the Seattle, such as clubs or something like that, you can go ahead and do that as well. So yeah, going on to the next slide.
So last but not least, I'm going to be talking about Pacific Avenue, or PAC Ave, as the UW community likes to call it. So PAC Ave is going to have all your dining options, some local retail shops, museums, coffee shops, and some stops for public transportation right in front of campus. So as of now, UW doesn't have an official on-campus cafeteria. We hope to implement one in the next couple of years, but for now, PAC Ave has your selection of local dining eats, from like pho to pizza, Jimmy John's, Subway, Hot Rod Dog, Sam Choice Poke, and much more. So we also have 3 coffee options located around PAC Ave. So there's Starbucks, Anthem, and then Metro Coffee. And then Anthem and Metro Coffee do offer student discounts, so make sure you show your Husky ID to save some money, and a couple cents can really go a long way. So your Husky ID also serves the purpose of a UPass or an Orca card. So UW tuition pays for you to have free public transportation. So anywhere from Tacoma to Seattle, Tacoma to Olympia, Kitsap County and Everett, full coverage for Kitsap fast ferries. You do get access to these areas via your Husky ID. But if you want more information about specific routes, they can be found on our UW homepage. So last but not least, I'm going to be touching up briefly about parking on campus. So you do have the option to park directly on campus. But some fares can be about $1 an hour for like 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours max. You can also pay to have parking passes per quarter, but sometimes they run out quickly, so you have to be on top of the deadlines for when they do go on sale. So one great resource for free parking on campus is the use of our light rail station. So the light rail station starts at the Tacoma Dome and has 2 large parking garages that are completely free. And then the light rail actually stops right in front of campus. It's about like a 3-minute ride. So if you park at the Tacoma Dome station and you happen to miss the link, don't worry, it runs every 10 minutes, and the access to the link is free to everyone, so no need to show your Husky ID. So that concludes our tour. If you have any questions, please save them and write them down for our Q&A session at the very end of our presentation. So thanks again for turning to our virtual tour. I'm going to hand it off now to our UWT transfer advisors, Maya and Janet, for next steps.
Hi everyone, my name is Janet de la Cruz and I am a freshman advisor.
Hello everyone again, my name is Maya. I am also another freshman advisor here. We are going to speak about what's next. First off, I do want to congratulate everyone here. So your first step, everyone should be handed this sheet once they got their admittance packet. So starting off, the important step is to create a UW Tacoma profile. So this is by following the link here, and you will be creating your UW Net ID and then your UW email. You want to make sure you check it early and often. All official messages will go to your university email address. And this will also give you access to your MyUW, your financial aid packages, and so on.
The next step on this list is attend an admitted student day, which you are doing right now. This is just a great way for you to gather information, learn more about UWT, and figure out whether it's going to be the best fit for you in the fall.
The next step here is to pay the new student enrollment and orientation fee. It says that the NSEOF is due May 1st. However, you still can pay this and confirm your attendance here at UW Tacoma. So that is a bit.
I do want to point out that if you are looking to confirm your enrollment at UW Tacoma and want to have the fee deferred, you can do that by submitting a NSCOF deferral fee form, and you can access that on our website, or you can contact any admissions advisor and we can provide that for you. The next item on this list is apply for financial aid and scholarships. So if you haven't already, you definitely want to fill out a FAFSA or WASFA. Those are the forms that our financial aid team receives to award students financial aid. Also, Maya already mentioned this. If you are a student who has already done this, your financial aid award is available through your MyUW student portal.
And we will have guests speaking from the financial aid office as well, so they can give you information later on as well. And then the next step is to send final official transcripts to UW Tacoma. So if you're graduating or once you're done with classes in your senior year, please make sure you send your official transcript, and that is the same with Running Start students as well.
The next item on this list is take the math placement test. So all students are required to take the math placement. This is just a way to ensure that students are placed in the appropriate math class when they are registering for one. There's also a writing directed self-placement, and it's just another way for students to ensure that they are placed in a class that matches their skill level. So definitely make sure that you register for these placement tests when that information is sent out to you through your official UW email.
If you require any disability resources, make sure you provide disability resources for students. And that should be the first step you do, so you can have any accommodations made when you're taking classes. They can help you navigate some of the resources that we have for you as well.
The next item on the list is registering for orientation and advising and registration days. At this point, these events will be taking place virtually, and you should have received information on how to register to your official UW email. So again, just make sure that you're checking your email frequently to ensure that you're up to date with all the information that we are sending out.
And then next is to return the measles immunity verification form included in your admissions packet. You are required to provide proof of measles immunity in order to register for classes. So unless you turn in this form, you aren't able to register for classes. And then lastly, for me, apply for housing. We do have another person speaking for housing later on as well, and giving you a tour and can answer questions later on. But housing is open now, and you can apply for housing at this moment.
So I'm going to hand it off to my colleague, Navia, who will be introducing the next speaker in the presentation.
Hey everyone, my name is Navia Winderling and I'm an admissions advisor at Tacoma, also a very proud alum. I just want to tell you guys that we are doing a Q&A session at the very end of this program. So if you have questions, feel free to text them in. Our phone number is 206-918-0351. Right now, I'm so excited to get to introduce you to the Office of Student Financial Aid. We've got some awesome folks from there. Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. We're going to housing. Just joking. That's what everyone wants to see. So I'm going to introduce you to Keely Titus with our Residence Life Department. Keely?
Hello, everybody. I'm very excited to be here. I absolutely love Tacoma. I also am an alum, and so I absolutely love this place. And I'm very excited to take you on a journey through Court 17 today. So this is going to be a Court 17 first. I've got my trusty iPad here, and so I'm going to take you around. So first, though, I'm hanging out in one of our units. So our unit types. So we have 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Naga actually touched on this as well. So a 2-bed, 2-bath is going to house 4 residents. We also have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, which is going to house 2 residents, and then a studio, which also has a bathroom, and that will also house 2. There are some private options that are available for any of our returning residents or possibly somebody who needs an accommodation. And we also do offer graduate housing, and those are all private. So I'm going to turn my camera around. So here we are. So I'm gonna keep a steady hand as best as possible. So here we are in a 2-bedroom unit. So this is my little workstation right here. So this area is going to show you some of the furnishings that we offer. So this is going to include a table here, some chairs. Everybody's going to get a couch as well. Some might also have an additional couch or smaller couches. I'm just going to show you our internet right here. So every room does have high-speed Wi-Fi. All of our occupancy charges just include your living, your internet, water, heat, anything like that. So there's no additional charges for those. And I did want to show you the view today because the mountain did decide to make an appearance, which is beautiful. So right here, this is campus. So right down there. So we are right up above campus. We have a great view. It's super close. You can just roll right out of bed and then head to class, which I used to do all the time. We're going to turn here. So this is a kitchen. So all of our kitchens are going to include the same appliances. You're going to have a fridge, stove, microwave, your sink, and then the dishwasher, which again, my favorite thing. I'm going to come down the hallway here. So to the right, we are going to have a hall bathroom. So these have a sink, some counter space, as well as your bathroom and shower. And here's all this. We do also like to note, there is no shower curtain. Please, please, please bring your shower curtains with you. I'm gonna head back out this way. So now we are going to enter one of the other bedrooms that includes the second bathroom. Really quickly though, I'm on a hot spot. I don't wanna lose y'all. So let me grab my trusty phone. Okay, we're gonna head this way. So into the other bedroom here, it's got a little bit longer of a hallway. And here we are in the second bath. So a lot of residents like to ask us, why did I not get the bedroom with the bathroom? So this is more of a random selection. We don't pick and choose who has the bedroom with the bathroom. So just for y'all to know. But again, it's the same thing. We've got some storage here and you've got your shower and your tub. Furnishings in the bedroom are going to include twin extra long beds. There are desks here. So some of our desks you may find in the living room. It's totally up to students where they would like to move those. And then in here is the walk-in closet. I'm going to take a step back so that y'all can see. So everybody's going to have a dresser. And some units are also going to have some of these storage bins as well. So full size. I will give you a quick view here of the other bedroom. So one thing to note about our bedrooms, we do have a light switch here But as you can see, there is no light coming on. So one of our must-brings for those in 1-bedrooms and 2-bedroom units is going to be a lamp. So that light switch does connect to one of our outlets here. But here's the 2nd bedroom, very similar in size, and also has a full-size closet in here with the dressers. You may find in some of the rooms that these dressers are under the beds. I'm going to now take you to our entryway. So here's our front door. Everybody's going to have one of these maps here. But right when you walk in, there's going to be an extra storage closet. I'll give it open. And one of our favorite things right here in front of me, right when I walk in here, is an extra storage closet and the washer and dryer. These are amazing. These are in every unit as well. We do currently not have a common laundry space. I'm going to now take you out into the hallway. I'm going to show you another unit type. So I'm going to show you a studio, which is one of our other more abundant room types. So here's our hallway. All of our hallways are going to look about the same. And I'm going to go up the stairs here. So this is one of our stairwells. That down there, right there, you can see leads out to the patio. I'm going to take some steps up. We do have stairs in the center of the building, as well as elevator. So here's the view from the stairwell. We're going to keep going up. I'm going to show you where some of our RAs are. So we're going to come through here. That's one of the rooms I was in before. Hi, Teresa. This is one of our RAs, Teresa. Hello. Hello. So all of our RAs are going to live in a 30 or a 10 room on each side. All right. Here to the right on every floor. Oh, you can totally go ahead. Hello. So this here is our trash and recycling. It's going to be in the same place on every floor. I'm going to give an open here just to show you. There's our trash chute. We've got some recycling bins here. All right. Now we're going to head into a studio. So this is a studio space. Right when you open up the door here in the entryway is a closet. There's a dresser in this one. So it's not a walk-in, but it is a very good size. I'm gonna pop to the right. This is the bathroom. You'll notice some variances in bathroom storage. Some have more, some have a little bit less, but some might have more counter space. Full bathroom right there. And then here is the bedroom for our studios. So our studios are going to be shaped a little bit differently. Their beds are usually going to be stacked similar to this. What is nice about our studios is that although you do not have a door here, it's nice and separate from the living space. So the living space is up ahead. But before that, here's 2 additional closets. Here's a washer and dryer. And then an additional closet. And these connect. So I can pop in here and I can see the washer and dryer right there. All right. We're going to pop here into the living space. So again, you've got a dining table and chairs. You've got desks and seats as well. As you can see, these ones are a little bit different. They do vary. And then we have a different couch as well. And then across the street, there's the YMCA. It's nice and convenient to walk over there. And then a kitchen. So it's very similar. In our studios, the fridge is going to be just a little bit smaller, but we still have the same other features. Dishwasher, the sink, the stove. This room was recently cleaned. And then microwave. So I'm going to quickly run downstairs. So those are our 2 most popular units. We do have 1 bedrooms as well. We're going to finish going down the hallway. So we have 7 RAs currently, and each floor is going to be decorated uniquely. So this one here is sky, sun, which is beautiful that we have the sun out today, and then our bulletin boards. So our RAs each month are going to change up their bulletin boards. It's a way to engage with the community and the residents. Like right here, we have a this or that. Our residents get to walk by and choose. Personally, I like dogs. And then we have some tips and tricks many a times that pop up on these. We're gonna head down to the first floor. I'm gonna take a quick journey down the stairs. I hope I haven't been too shaky for y'all. We have our second floor landing. And then we're gonna show you the last spaces, which will be our common spaces. Hello. All right. So the first spot is going to be our cafe. So this here, it's similar to like what those Amazon marketplaces are, except you do have a little kiosk. But we've got some snacks here. There are some fresh foods, such as sandwiches and salads. You grab, you pay, and then you go. So it's nice and convenient. Right here, this is our office. So this is where Ramon and I are day to day. And then our first common space here is our multi-purpose room. So this here used to be a gym, which is why we have the lovely mirrors here. Though we do find that a lot of our students like to study on those. They use whiteboard markers, but it is kind of more of our nice study spots. The door does close. You can find a little bit more quiet in this room here. Well, I'm gonna take you around this way. We have our front desk area. Hello. Hello, hello. This is where you can find packages, ask some general question, find out what's going on for the month. And then that's our front doors right there. So there's the YMCA again. We'll come around this way. So these are our elevators. So these are going to take you up to the other 5 floors and also down into the garage. Here is our mail. At the beginning of the year when our residents move in, so the Postal Service places some bacon flips in there. So that's a way for y'all to get your mail. They will not deliver it unless it has your last name in there. And our final space is our community room. This is one of the more hangout spots. We have a full kitchen in here. Residents can request to reserve this space for their programming, for their meetings. We have a lot of programs in here. Got a nice fireplace and our free printing station as well. And I just wanted to end out here. This is our patio. Everything is secure access. So there is a way down to the garage right there that has a secure spot. There's a button right here that gets you in these front doors. But yes, this is our lovely patio. We love having like karaoke nights out here, general studies. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to hear what your questions are. I'm going to switch my camera. I'm excited though to hear what any of your questions are. And thank you for joining me on this tour.
Thank you so much, Keely. That was an awesome tour. Right now, we are going to transition over to our Office of Student Financial Aid. I know you guys want to know about money, so we are so lucky to have Isabel Musgrove and Marissa Mays with us today to talk about financial aid, how to find your award, how to accept it, and all other things money. Isabel, take it away. Isabel, I think you're muted.
I was. Okay. Start that again. So like Navia mentioned, my name is Isabel and I am with the Office of Student Financial Aid. I am the program assistant and I am accompanied today by my colleague, Marissa Mesh. Marissa is a senior financial aid counselor in our office as well. And let's go ahead and get this started. There we go. So our agenda today is going to be pretty brief. We're going to go over some commonly frequently asked questions for new students when trying to figure out their financial aid awards. So we're going to kind of go through a couple of these and then hopefully answer some questions towards the end of our presentation. So what we're going to go through today is how to use your MyUW account and your student email account to check your financial aid status. Okay. So we're gonna go through those to check your financial aid status. So our office is going to primarily communicate with you through your student email account and your MyUW account. And so if you haven't already done so, it's super imperative that you get that set up, because that is going to be a super powerful tool for you to be able to access your financial aid award, to know what your status is, to know when your aid is going to disperse.
in all things financial aid. So if you haven't already set that up, I would definitely make that a priority in getting that set up. As far as your student email account goes, for some reason, I'm not entirely sure why, our emails go into student spam folders. So if you would check your spam folder and if you see any of our emails in there, go ahead and save us as a primary contact so our emails will go directly into your inbox versus your spam. Next slide. All right, using your MyUW account. So as you can see, this is what your MyUW account portal looks like. And so it's got a lot of information in here under the financial aid status. It's going to give you the ability to take a look at your summary, your cost of attendance, that section that says over on the left-hand side, award, accept, and reject. That's where you're going to be able to view your financial aid award as long as it's available to you to view. And accept your award and make any changes that you might need. You've got, like I said, you got your cost of attendance, your resources. This section right here, this is actually where you would go in, and if you were receiving any type of scholarship outside of the university, so let's say, for example, you were getting a scholarship from the Lions Club for $500, this is where you would want to let us know about it. It's super important that if you're receiving a scholarship outside of the university, that we are aware of it. It can have an impact on your financial aid award, and so we just want to make sure that you're being appropriately awarded and then not over awarded. And then we've also got the document status. The document status where if you've been selected for verification and you have documents that you've turned in and you're wondering what the status is, you can actually track that document status right in there in your MyUW account. We've also got your loan history, where if you're a student who's taking out federal student loans, you can actually see what the interest rates are, how much you've taken out each quarter, and kind of what you're going to anticipate having to pay back once you're all set and done. All right, next slide. And then verification forms. So why are we asking for these forms? So oftentimes students are asked that question of, I've already completed my FAFSA. Why do you need these additional documents? And so the Department of Education each year, we go through this process and it's called verification. And so what it is that we're just trying to verify the information that you placed on your FAFSA application. And how we do that is by requesting these documents, whether it be tax returns, whether it be a social security card or a certificate of naturalization, anything like that, or verifying that you're registered for selective service. And so this just allows us to make sure that you truly are eligible for the federal financial aid that is available to you. And so if we are asking for those documents, definitely do not hesitate and prolong getting those turned into us. If you have questions or you're confused, definitely reach out and contact us and ask us those questions so that we can clarify any misunderstandings or anything like that. There is no timeline or deadline to have these documents turned in. However, you won't receive your final financial aid award until we can verify your eligibility with these documents. So if you have that notification in your MyUW saying that you have missing documents, definitely, and you're confused, definitely just email us or contact us. And then submitting verification documents. Go to the next slide. So the university has this really cool tool. It's called the Secure Document Upload Portal. And you can actually find this link and this button on our financial aid and scholarships webpage. And so the easiest, quickest, best way to get these documents and the most secure way to get these documents submitted to us is by using the Secure Document Upload Portal, which is on our website. And so it's going to allow you to log in using your username and password and upload those securely to us. It comes directly to us. Right now, because of obvious health reasons and concerns, we don't have access to our building as frequently as we would like. And so if you are faxing anything in, definitely email us so that we know that we need to get access into the office to try and get those faxes scanned in and get your documents submitted. And then if you're mailing anything, we would prefer that you hold off on that right now because of health reasons and try and use a secure document upload portal. But if technology barriers prevent you from doing that and you have to mail it in, again, go ahead and email us or give us a call and let us know so that we can also check our mail and making sure that we get those scanned in for you as well. Our next slide. Timelines. So when will I receive my award? So typically incoming freshmen, if you have completed your FAFSA before our priority deadline, which was January 15th, and you've already become an admitted student into the university, you should already be able to see your you should already be able to see your financial aid award in your MyUW account. And so it should be there under the 2021 academic year. If not, and you've got missing documents, it may be in the preliminary status, meaning it's not your final award. So definitely get those documents turned in. Transfer students can typically anticipate their awards coming around summer, as well as continuing students. For those students who are coming in the summer quarter, this is a super tight turnaround for our office. We're closing out spring quarter and rolling into summer within a 2-week period of span. And so you'll probably see that summer award about 2 weeks prior to the quarter. And then aid disbursement. So aid typically disperses 1 week prior to the quarter, so long as you've done all the necessary requirements to get your financial aid award set up. And so some of those things are going to be making sure you have direct deposit set up, which is not mandatory. However, it's highly, highly encouraged. It's just going to expedite those funds getting to you much faster than receiving it in a paper check form through the mail, especially right now with everything going on. And then making sure all your holds are clear. So a financial aid hold that would be placed on a student's account that would prevent their aid from dispersing would be those verification documents that we were talking about earlier. So making sure that you get those turned in so that we can finalize your award. And then the minimum credit load. So depending on the type of financial aid that you receive, you may be required to be in a minimum amount of credits to receive that financial aid. So a lot of federal grants and scholarships require students to attend full time, which is about 12 credits, 3 classes, give or take, depending on how many those credits are. So just make sure that you are aware of what those requirements are, depending on the type of aid that you are receiving. And then loan-specific requirements. Students who are receiving federal student loans, there's a couple more steps to accepting student loans. The first step is accepting it in your MyUW, and then the other 2 steps are going to be on the studentaid.gov website. And on there, you're going to be required to complete an entrance counseling and a master promissory note. The entrance counseling is essentially just a counseling making sure that you are aware that this is a federal student loan. It will collect interest and you are required to pay it back once you've completed your degree or dropped less than half-time. Is it full-time or half-time?
It's half-time. So if the student takes a little bit of a break, if it's more than 6 months, then their loans that they borrowed previously may unfortunately go into repayment until they perhaps go back to school at least half-time. So thanks, Isabel.
Perfect. Thank you, Marissa. So just keep that in mind. That's the entrance counseling. And then the master promissory note is the legal documentation that you would essentially sign just like you would like a mortgage or a car note loan type document. We'll move on to our next slide. And then we've got our scholarships. So UW Tacoma freshman scholarships, I actually was notified this morning that those were mailed out today. And so students should be receiving I apologize. That was transfer. Just kidding. Erase what I just said. So freshman merit scholarships. So those students should have already received those letters and notifications in regards to the freshman merit scholarships. So if you haven't already had the opportunity to accept it, there is an additional step when you receive that. You have to go in and accept it online. And so if you're not sure if you've done that or you don't know if you have, definitely email us and contact us so that we can make sure that you have that all set up and that it is on your financial aid award. And then our UW Tacoma General Scholarship, that actually closed April 30th. So apologize, that shouldn't be on there. I will just briefly say that this Tacoma General Scholarship is available each year. It opens up at the beginning of April and then closes at the end of April as well. So just keep that in mind. And then applying for other scholarships. So if you visit our website, on the financial aid status webpage, you'll see on there's going to be additional resources to outside organizations that you can actually visit their websites, and they're going to have a plethora and list of scholarships that you can apply for. And then lastly, letting us know that if you are receiving outside scholarships, like I mentioned before. And Marissa, did you want to add anything? Did I miss anything?
You did a great job. I'm sure a lot of students who are coming in new, especially if, what you've heard about financial aid or if you've experienced it in another school, we always encourage students to come talk to us. That's why we're called counselors, because we do want to have that one-on-one conversation. Unfortunately, we can't have it right now with the COVID situation, but we have a multitude of ways. We have live chat, we have email, we have our phone hours. We even, if students want that face-to-face contact just like this, we're always willing to set up Zoom appointments with either students, parents, or both. Granted, if you got to have the proper permission forms filled out if you're going to just have your parents talk to us. But we do really want that, contact with students, ask us those questions that have been on your mind, or those things that maybe you're, wanting to understand a little bit more. And we're always happy to help out.
Yeah. Hand it off to Navia now.
Thank you so much, Isabel and Marissa. That was so informative. I'm sure you're going to have questions at the end, though, because everyone has questions about financial aid. So now you guys have heard from Housing and Residence Life. You've heard from our Office of Student Financial Aid. And we're going to transition one more time to talk to Isabella Webb, an academic advisor with our University Academic Advising Office. She's going to talk with you all about classes, what academic advising looks like at UW-Tacoma, and what you can expect as an admitted student. Isabella, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We will go to the next slide. Oh, yep, that's the one. So my name is Isabella Webb, and I am a freshman and pre-major advisor with University Academic Advising, and I work with students A through E. So we'll go to the next slide. We're going to talk today about what academic advising looks like at the University of Washington-Tacoma, what comes next, and then we'll have a Q&A session at the very end. So let's take it to the next slide. So what we do in academic advising is help students to identify personal, academic, and professional goals. What this looks like is going over the general education requirements, prerequisites to apply to a major, timelining those out, looking at the application deadlines for specific programs, or declaring a major. What we also do are educational workshops that come out of academic advising, and we also have a Husky Success Series that is full of student leaders from across the campus, and we do a lot of fun, interactive, and educational programming. And during this current quarter, we did start an online podcast that you can access every Thursday at 1 p.m. to talk to other students. So we will go to the next slideshow. Advising can be a little different at the university level than it is at the community college level. So figuring out who your advisor is can sometimes be stressful. And so we have lots of steps to simplify that and make it easy for you. In my department, we work with freshmen and students who have not yet declared their major. So this can be students who are first time new to college. This can be running start students or transfer students. Generally, if you have 60 credits and under, you will work with what we call a pre-major advisor, and we will get you degree ready. If you're not sure who your advisor is, you can always reach out to us, and we will go ahead and make sure that you get in touch with the right person. So we will go to the next slide. And if you want to take a moment to look this over, you can see that it is all done alphabetically. So A through E is myself, Isabella Webb. F through L is Michelle Earthright. M through Q, Will Taylor. R through X, Kira King. And Y through Z, Lorraine Donnell. We go to the next slide. Now, for students who are coming in generally with running start credits of 60 plus, or who have declared a major or are in the process of declaring a major, then you would go ahead and work with an academic program advisor. And we will go 2 slides up to the next one. There we go. So if you take a look at this, you can see that each department have their own major advisors. Once you declare or are accepted into a major, this is the advisor that you will work with generally for the last 2 years of your degree. So if you take a look, you can see that we have the Milgard School of Business, Social Work and Criminal Justice, Nursing and Healthcare Leadership, Urban Studies, and we will go to the next slideshow. And then for the School of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, we have quite a few advisors, and there are websites that let you know which advisor you would be with depending on which department you would be in. Going to the next slideshow. Also out of our office, we have student advising mentors, which we call SAMs. And if you go to the University Academic Advising website, we have live Zoom, so you can chat with students and get very quick answers to questions such as how do I register, how do I add or drop a class, how do I access my MyPlan and DARS, when do I need an entry code, what majors and minors does UW-Tacoma offer. We go to the next slideshow, and then one more over. We are currently doing new student advising and registration all throughout the month of June. And there is an online link that students can go to that they can register and sign up for different dates. Just wanted to let everyone know that all new students coming in currently do have holes on your account, and that's okay. Those holes will all be lifted by either attending a new student advising registration seminar or meeting with your advisor for the registration date of June 22nd. So one of the things that you really want to do when you come to your advising appointment is to come prepared. At that time, we will walk you through my plan. We will look at degree audits. We'll go through the time schedule, and we will often timeline out 2 or 3 quarters ahead so that you know what plan you're on. We will also look at all the prerequisites that you need to get into your major, when your application dates are. So you'll have a really good idea of what the next 2 years or even year will look like for you. Make sure that you have a pen and paper ready with you, and also we can talk to you about internships, study abroad opportunities, and connect you with resources on campus also. We will go to the very last slideshow. So we're going to have a Q&A session now, and I will go ahead and hand it over to Janet. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm back. So you've just heard a lot of information from various offices on campus. So right now is a time for Q&A. If you have your questions, please send in those questions to the text to the number on your screen. The first question is for Keely. It's a housing question. So students want to know if they can live in a studio by themselves.
That is a great question. So for anybody that is new to applying to Port 17, this is their first time ever applying, whether or not they are a first-year student, the private studio option will not actually show up and be available to them. When this private studio option becomes available on the application is when you have previously lived here before. So if you are, say, a current resident right now and they went in and applied for next year, the private studio will be an option. The other avenue, though, that a student can take if they do want to preference a private studio is to talk with our Disability Resources for Students department, because we do have some students who require an accommodation. So an example would be maybe somebody who struggles with insomnia. That has been a case in the past before, and they required a private space, and so we're able to arrange that. So it can depend on the situation. And it also depends on availability. So many of the times, though, when our former residents who are applying to live here again request a private studio, they get the first preference. And then we go down the line. But we do always want to accommodate our students who are interested in that. And we're always open to questions and figuring out different scenarios. But the initial amount, though, of private studios that we offer is very small.
Right, thank you. Next question, I'm going to toss over to Naga. Students want to know what type of activities are offered on campus. Naga? Alrighty, maybe Matthew or Katrine can answer that question. What type of activities are offered that students can be involved in?
Yeah, definitely. So we do have, I believe it's intramural sports at like the YMCA. What I always recommend for students is just clubs in general can be something interesting to do. So like a D&D club, we have that. We have our Smash Bros. And once again, I think Naga pointed it out during the tour, you are, as a UW-Tacoma student, you are UW affiliated all around. So if you ever wanted to go to any of like the football games or any of the sports events, they're always giving tickets. They're always happy to help you kind of get there and put events on for that. So if you're looking to do maybe the football games as well, you can always do that and do those different activities. But once again, clubs are probably your best option when you're looking to do any, working with groups of people to do any kind of cool activities we have.
Hey, thanks. The next question is for Isabella. During a traditional academic school year, are there classes offered online?
There are usually classes that are offered online. We sometimes have hybrid options, so on campus and online, and then our regularly scheduled classes online. The reason for this is everyone is a different learner. They prefer a different format. If they're evening classes, they're usually going to be on campus. Sometimes those are online, but we try to really think about our student body, which a lot of people are working, some people have families, so there really is something for everyone.
Thank you. The next question, if Isabel or Marissa could answer, it's about financial aid. So students want to know if they should accept loans, even if they don't know if they will need them at the end.
I would say that, if a student is offered loans, and especially if a student maybe doesn't know if they're going to be living in housing on campus, or maybe they're going to be living off campus, loans, thankfully, are not something that run out, not like something like, a scholarship you have a limited time to accept, or this particular limited grant funding from the UW. Federal loan funds are typically always available as long as the student is at least half time and, meeting all the academic requirements. So I would say, if a student does accept loans, as Isabel was saying in our presentation, if you are a first-time borrower, even if you accept loans, they won't disperse until you do those required loan steps called the master promissory note and entrance counseling. So we do always have students who accept the loans, and they won't disperse until you do all those final items. So it's, it is, somewhat of a preference. A student, if they don't accept them and just leave them in an offered status, there's always, possibility later when we're kind of cleaning up that we'd cancel them. But then we find some students later, maybe unexpected car expense comes up or something, aside from tuition that we still consider an educational expense. So that's something that, if a student is really debating, should I accept these, you can err on the side of caution if you just wanted to leave it as is, while you're still deciding maybe some of your, living situation and housing. And we can always assist with that too, as I mentioned. If you're trying to kind of budget for the year, we can always help out with that with your financial aid package as it is.
Thank you. So Keely, the next question is for you. Is housing going to change next fall due to COVID-19?
Yes. So that is a question that has definitely been popping up recently. For spring, when classes moved to online, we did give the option for our residents to move out with no penalty, no financial penalty. We did have some guidelines for them to follow. And so we've been kind of waiting to see what exactly is going to happen for fall. So we are in touch with campus leadership here and at Seattle. So as of right now, we're planning for multiple different scenarios. Our applications are open. Our priority deadline is actually June 1st, though our application does remain open beyond that date. So the big question right now is what exactly is going to play out? Are we going to have full occupancy, or are we just going to run as normal? Or there's different scenarios such as, are we just going to run, each student would have a private bathroom. So say everybody would have a private unit if it was a studio or one bedroom, and then in the 2 bedrooms, we have 2 residents because there's private bathrooms. So multiple different scenarios have planned out right now. It comes down to what campus leadership is going to determine, but absolutely though, health and safety of our residents is of utmost importance, and it's our staff as well. So it's definitely a very fluid situation, and it's tough to have a solid concrete plan, but there are multiple different scenarios that can definitely be pushed into action once we have a clear picture of what fall is going to look like.
Thank you. Next question, I'm going to have Katrine answer. What is a Husky card?
Hi. So your Husky ID card is so it's just going to be your ID card, has your face on it, but it also, like I said earlier, serves as a UPass for public transportation. It also serves for getting into some of the buildings as well, if you're authorized for those buildings. But also, even if you don't use your Husky ID card on campus, definitely show your Husky ID card to like local shops and restaurants who do offer student discounts. So it's not just for getting discounts for the restaurants or retail shops on campus, but also like out of campus as well. And so even getting into like, for instance, you have access to the Suzalo Library up in UW Seattle, and that one's 24 hours. So you just show your Husky ID card, show that you are a student, and then you get to use the UW Seattle or UW Bothell's libraries because you are a Husky student.
Thanks. So I have another academic advising question. Students want to know when they apply for a major.
That's a big question. It really depends on the major. Some majors you declare when your prerequisites are completed. Other majors you will apply for. Some majors will have 2 application periods per year, and some will only have 1 application period per year. So that's why it's really important to be meeting with your academic advisor every quarter so we can timeline your general education classes, your prerequisites, and time that with when you would apply. Normally you would see yourself applying though when you have around 60 credits and you're in that sophomore to junior transition.
Right, thank you. The next question is for financial aid. So students want to know if they can use their financial aid award towards studying abroad, specifically if they are Husky Promise recipients.
Yes, so study abroad came up a couple of times. You know, we have programs through Tacoma, through Seattle. One thing to keep in mind with Husky Promise is it relates to full-time tuition. That being said, study abroad charges a program fee that typically does exceed tuition, and it can vary per program, you know, depending what country you're going to, kind of the living accommodations. That being said, the student can still typically use the, you know, say the student got the federal Pell Grant, the Washington College Grant, and the trip is full-time. You can still utilize those funds toward the study abroad trip. Just be aware that when we do offer additional funds to the student, if they need it for like their visa or their airfare, it would be usually in the form of student loans. That being said, we really do encourage students to work with our Office of Global Affairs. They typically have some really good scholarship opportunities for study abroad trips, usually in the realm of $1,000, that can definitely help out with those costs without having to maybe take extra loans or borrow additional money that you could just, you know, be offered a scholarship. But that's something that we do work with a lot of, you know, with their department a lot on, especially with students with budgeting and how they can kind of prepare for that. It's a little bit tricky now with you know, travel limitations, but we have students that come to us. You know, I've had a student come to me a year in advance to plan for a study abroad, and that's a really good thing to kind of know everything that's involved, especially the financial part of it.
The next question is for Megan. The question is, when do you anticipate that UW-Tacoma will open up to the public?
Oh, that is a great question. So we don't know yet. We are waiting to hear from our campus leadership about what it will look like for students to return to campus, to staff to return to campus. But we are hopeful that we'll have more information by early July.
Awesome, thank you. The next question is for Isabella.
Hi.
Will I need to take a math placement test if I completed my AA degree as a Running Start student?
It really depends on what math classes you took with your AA degree. And so for students that are coming in generally for computer science systems, electrical engineering, business, or biomed, there are a lot of math and science classes that have prerequisites. So when you meet with your advisor, we will go over those prerequisites. We will look at your high school transcripts to see if you took AP or IB testing, and then we will let you know if you need to take a test and then refer you to the links and the resources to do so.
The next question is again for financial aid. How do you know if you have received the Husky Promise?
So typically, when a student's, typically for freshman students, as we mentioned, their offers would be prepared if we did receive their FAFSA by the priority date of January 15th of 2020. Typically on the award offer, it will notate if a student is a Husky Promise eligible student. That being said, there's no Husky Promise particular grant, or it's not going to show on an award fund itself. That being said, it never hurts to ask what Husky Promise is. We've mentioned that phrase a lot in this online session, but essentially what that is, if students do meet certain criteria based on their FAFSA or their WASFA application, the Washington application for state financial aid, if they do meet certain criteria, such as they do have to be a Washington state resident, they do have to be considered eligible for the federal Pell Grant. Essentially what the Husky Promise is that means their full-time tuition each quarter for that academic year would be met in full by state grants, federal grants, and also UW grants. So, if a student doesn't see like, oh, I didn't get the Husky Promise scholarship, or I didn't get the Husky Promise grant, there's still a possibility that they're a Husky Promise student, and that promise per se is fulfilled with a combination of the grants that they're offered as part of their financial aid award.
Thank you. The next question is for Matthew. A student wants to know if there is a swimming pool at the UW Tacoma Y.
Yeah, definitely. So for our Y, unfortunately, we don't have one, but the one a couple blocks down does. And once again, in your tuition, you're getting access to all 40 Ys in the state of Washington. So if maybe you have a Y next to your home that does have a pool and that's easier for you to get to, you will have access to that. So definitely take advantage of that.
Isabella, the next question is for you again. When is the enrollment date for fall quarter?
So registration for new students coming in is going to be June 22nd. Currently, all new students do have holds, and those holds will either be lifted by meeting with an advisor or attending a new student advising and registration seminar.
Thank you. I have another question for financial aid. So if a student has already received their financial aid award and has received an additional outside of the UW scholarship, where should we send that information?
Kind of the standard option is on that financial aid status page, where there is kind of a toolbar on the left-hand side where it talks about accepting your award, contact us. There's one that says resources. I believe it says report resources, and that's where there's actually a form field that students can go to, and it kind of gives a little description and just lets us know, where's the scholarship from? Is it, from your high school? Is it from a charity? What quarters are you receiving it for, and how much is it? So, give us the best detail if it's, 500 total for the year or 500 each quarter. That being said, if you're getting to that part and kind of have some questions, we do also encourage students, if they do want to just contact us via email with that information so we can confirm with them. But if it's something that there's questions while filling that out, definitely follow up with us so we can make sure that scholarship is accurately accounted for in the student financial aid file.
The next question is for Octavio. When do you have to have the vaccination forms submitted?
Yeah, you want to have them in by the first day of the quarter. And the reason behind that too is that later on, the longer you wait, there's going to be a registration hold placed on your account. So that'll affect future quarters when you're trying to register for classes. So you definitely want to make sure to get those in on time. And also, if you need assistance with any of that, the Student Transitions Office was able to assist students with that.
Thank you. Isabella, I have another question for you. So this student is asking, my intended major is computer science, and I have been put on the waiting list for the computer science program. Do I go ahead and set up an appointment with a computer science advisor or should they wait?
So that is a great question, and we are getting a lot of those at this time of year. The waitlist, students should be notified, I believe it's July, if they have been accepted. So students who have not yet been accepted will still meet with the pre-major advisor, and we will go ahead and register students for the full quarter. Once accepted into the program, then you will transition over to the major advisor, and at that time, your registration may change. But for now, please meet with someone in university academic advising, freshman or pre-major advisor.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Isabella. And so our final question is for financial aid. When will students be notified about the general scholarship?
So the general scholarship is one that Isabel mentioned in our presentation that is our yearly scholarship that closed up on April 30th. We actually had a very large turnout this year. So what's going to be involved is our scholarship committee will need to review and kind of assess each of the submissions. That being said, at this time, especially with the COVID situation going on, we would anticipate that those notifications and the updates as far as who received the general scholarship will be a bit closer to the actual start of autumn quarter.
Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody who's answered the questions today and pass it off to Navia again.
Awesome. Thank you, Janet. So that's all of the questions. We are going to wrap this baby up. But before we go, I do have a few reminders and things to tell you. So first things first, if you found that this was just a lot of information and you need to go back and watch this again, you absolutely can. Head to our YouTube channel. It's just UW Tacoma Office of Admissions, where this will be posted. We also have a lot of wonderful content, things like videos from our faculty and professors, resource videos from some of our administrative offices on campus. So I highly recommend you guys check that stuff out. We are adding content all the time. Next, we do have an Instagram account and we're pretty active. So we'd love to see you guys follow us. We do weekly Instagram lives with our campus ambassadors, and they talk about a ton of different things like classes on campus or clubs and organizations, living on campus, all that good stuff. So do check us out. Our handle on Instagram is UW_Tacoma_admissions. UW_Tacoma_admissions. Next, we just want to remind you that our application is still open. So if you guys have friends or family that might be asking you questions about UW Tacoma, especially now that you're admitted and are going to be coming to us in the fall, feel free to let them know and have them reach out to us. We're happy to help and connect with them and give them some more information on our campus. Last but not least, if you do have additional questions, please send us an email. We are here to help. The best way to reach us is going to be uwtinfo@uw.edu. Again, uwtinfo@uw.edu. We're also available via live chat on our website during business hours. If you have not confirmed and you know now that you want to be at UW Tacoma in the fall, please make sure that you confirm and pay that new student enrollment and orientation fee. But that is it for us. I want to thank you all for joining us. On behalf of the entire UW Tacoma campus community and the Office of Admissions, we hope you guys are staying safe and well, and we will see you all in the fall.